produces muscle cells, skin cells, hormones, signaling molecules, and the blood flows through your veins, transporting nutrients and oxygen to your organs and into your cells. But for your body to do this job in a good and perfect way, you need different nutrients. And examples of these nutrients you can see here. Of course, you need the omega-3 fatty acids, you need vitamins, and you need minerals. It is important for us to eat good and healthy food. It is, of course, important for our health. It is important for our vitality, our growth, and our development. But the thing is that today we eat a lot of bad foods. We have a lot of temptations in the food stores. So we choose the food that we think is good, but might not be that healthy. And in addition to this, we are prone to a lot of stress. And stress also depletes our storages of nutrients such as vitamins and minerals. There's been a lot of diet changes, a big change since the 1950s. We have changed our diet radically. For instance, we're eating a lot more plant oils. We're eating a lot more meat. And plant oil and meat contains omega-6 fatty acids. In addition to this, we're also eating a lot more food containing sugar and starch. You can see on this picture here. This is the type of food that we choose to eat. And we are eating 24% less vegetables than we did in the 1950s. So we are eating this type of food, or we should be eating like this. And we have known this for a long, long time, that we should be eating good food. Because 460 years before Christ, a very, very smart man called Hippocrates, he said two very, very good sentences. That our food should be our medicine, and that medicine should be our food. So think about these sentences, and remember them. So when you go to the food store, you know what to buy, right? The World Heart Federation and the World Health Organization, they have two things that they emphasize. And that is that fish consumption, when you eat fish in countries where people eat a lot of fish, there is a reduced risk of dying from different causes, including cardiovascular disease. So it means increase your fish intake. In countries where the fruit and vegetable intake is quite low, people can get more diseases such as cardiovascular diseases and gastrointestinal cancers. Worldwide, a low fruit and vegetable intake accounts for these different diseases. Okay, so that also means increase your intake of fruit and vegetables. Omega-6 fatty acids. Do you know how we get all the omega-6 fatty acids into our body? You see it here. Because the animals that we eat, their feed contains a lot of plant oils. Their feed is made up of corn and soy oil. Meaning that when the animals eat this feed, they get a lot of omega-6 in their bodies. And when we eat animals, as you know, we eat a lot more meat than we used to do. You can see from the previous slide that we eat around 35% more meat than we used to do in the 1950s. That means that we get this omega-6 fatty acid into our body. So it sort of accumulates up the food chain, giving us a lot of omega-6. And we also get it from different plant oils. You can see from this graph here, I'm trying to explain, you see that up to the Industrial Revolution, around, you see the 1900s, we were in balance between omega-6 and omega-3. But then you can see something happens. The omega-6 amount in our diet increases, while the omega-3 intake decreases. And at the same time, you see here that cardiovascular diseases explode. The scientific recommendations is that we should be in a balance of 2 to 1 to 1 to 1. While public recommendations, for instance, the Nordic Ministers of Health, they say that we should be in a balance below 5 to 1. So below 5 to 1 is then recommended. But why is it so important with balance? I will try to explain by using this figure. You know, when we eat food containing fatty acids such as omega-6 and omega-3, it goes into our digestive system, our blood, and then into our cells. Our cells consist of cell membrane on the outside, and in this cell membrane you find the omega-6 and omega-3 fatty acids. And when the omega-6 and omega-3 fatty acids are in this cell membrane, they send out signaling molecules. And these signals that they send out, they affect the contraction of involuntary muscles, such as blood veins. It affects blood clumping and also our blood pressure. So when we have a lot of omega-6 in our diet, what happens is that the signals that they send out are pro-inflammatory, and they have a negative effect on this, meaning that the blood vessels, they contract, the blood clumps together, and the blood pressure increases. But when we have a lot of omega-3 in our diet, these signaling molecules are so-called positive, meaning that the blood vessel, they open up, the blood doesn't clump together as easily, and also the blood pressure, it decreases. If we explain it in a different way, we can use these light bulbs. When the light is off, you are in a normal state. But if you get an infection or you get a wound, you hurt yourself, then you are supposed to turn this inflammation on. It's called acute inflammation, because your body has to repair this inflammation. And then you see the light bulb is on. But the thing is that when you eat a lot of omega-6 fatty acids, this light bulb stays on. So you have a constant inflammation in your body. And that is called a chronic inflammation. And that can lead to different lifestyle issues or problems. That is why it is so important to balance with the omega-3s. Because when you add the omega-3s, the light bulbs turn off again. Then you are back into a normal state. Okay? Is it understandable? Perfect. Here, you can see some results from a balanced health concept. When it comes to Estonia, you can see that around 4,700 tests were analyzed in January this year. That's quite good. That's better than Lithuania and Latvia. And Norway is on the top there, as you can see, 22,000 tests analyzed. If you look at this picture, maybe you eat some of these ingredients or these types of food during a monthly basis. This type of food gives the background to your test number 1. Because when you take test number 1, it is your background diet which is measured. So if we take a look at the background diet, the average, you can see in Estonia, the average balance is around 11 to 1, at test 1. The average of the total group of all the countries, the Zinzino countries, are 12 to 1. Here is the numbers for divided into different ages for Norway. And you can see that the younger you are, in average, your balance is worse. So if you're young, you likely have a quite bad balance on test number 1. The older you get, the better your balance becomes. And you also see that there is not much difference between genders. The average balance is almost the same. You know that you take a drop of blood on your filter paper and you send it to analysis. And this method is very well known, the method which is used for the balance test kits. It's called dried blood spots. And there's a book, there's probably many books, but there's specifically one good book written about this theme. It's called Dried Blood Spots, Applications and Techniques. So if you're interested in reading a few hundred pages about the subjects, you can look up this book. And when it comes to publications, there's quite a lot of publications also on the subjects, even with human studies where this method has been used. There is 1,200 published articles in scientific journals about this method. So it's a safe or a very applied and a good method that is used for measuring your blood. If you look at people who have said that they have taken omega-3 supplements, not the balanced product, but other types of omega-3 supplements, we can see an average in Estonia that the balance is around 9-to-1, meaning that they're not in balance. You can see maybe they eat some fish, some fresh vegetables and fruits, and they take the omega-3 supplements. But still, they have too much omega-6 in their diet, so they're not yet balanced. But if you look into the balanced health concept, you know that it is a balanced mixture between these anti-inflammatory compounds from fish, the EPA and the DHA, and also polyphenols from olive. And together, these compounds provide a very synergetic and powerful effect. Here are results of people who have been taking balanced products, and I guess that includes a lot of you. You can see an average in Estonia that the balance is below 5-to-1, which is good, both for the oil and for the shake. So if you look back on this one, you can see now that it is in balance because you have more omega-3, so you can compete with the omega-6. So the scale are equal, in balance. The balanced oil, as you know, it contains EPA, DHA, that means omega-3 fatty acids. It contains polyphenols from olive oil and a compound called valine, which you can find in olive oil, which is good for the skin, and also vitamin D. A while back, we did a study at Sintef in Norway where we looked at different oils. And what we did to the oils, or what they did to the oils, is that they stressed the oil really, really bad. They wanted to sort of break the oils. So then you put a lot of oxygen and a lot of temperature onto the oil, and then it becomes oxidized or destroyed. So what happened is that krill oil, it oxidized within less than 5 hours. Concentrated omega-3, containing just vitamin E, it oxidized after below 10 hours. And cod liver oil with vitamin E oxidized after around 15 hours. While the balanced oil, it took 35 hours for it to start to oxidize before it was destroyed. And that you can relate back to how stable the oil is in the bottle and also the protective effects that it has in the body. And then we have the balanced shake. You know that the balanced shake also contains balanced oil, but in addition, it contains vitamins, minerals, and beta-glucans. If you take the separate compounds in balanced shake, and we think about it compared to food. For instance, the protein content in balanced shake is equal to 1 glass of milk. The omega-3 content, the EPA and DHA, is equal to 750 grams of cod fillet. So you would have to eat a lot of cod to get the same amount of omega-3s as you do in balanced shake. If you ate 2 broccoli pieces, you will get the same amount of folic acid and calcium, for instance. I don't know, but especially in Norway, we have something called 5 a day. Do you have something like that here? That you're supposed to eat 5 a day of fruit and vegetables? Very good. In Norway, we are not able to eat 5 a day. We eat 2.5 a day. So you can understand, and probably it's the same in every country. So you understand that it's important for us to get these nutrients, and then balanced shake could be a very, very good option. And in balanced shake, I mentioned that we have something called beta-glucans. There is something called 1316 beta-glucans from a strain of baker's yeast. What it does when you take the balanced shake and also the extender is that the beta-glucans, they activate your white blood cells, which is your innate immune system, so that your immune system is able to fight various either diseases or bacteria much easier. So you can call it a natural immune health ingredient. It's a very interesting ingredient. A lot of scientific background on it. If you took all the separate vitamins and minerals that you found in balanced shake, vitamin K2, C vitamin, D vitamin, and you bought them separately on the health shop, You bought the minerals, you bought the beta-glucans. In average per month, this would cost you at least 100 euros. So you can see that a better option is to take the balance shake, but you in addition get, of course, the balance oil. So this is a good package. You have everything in this package. So I want to just remind you that the balanced health concept, it is a preventative health concept. It is not a cure for all different diseases, okay? But what it does is that it improves the body's capacity to resist and fight various lifestyle-related health issues. So think about it as preventative health care. Here, you can see, a while back we did a study on the skin. So it's not all about cardiovascular diseases and all this, but it also has an effect on the skin when you take the balanced products. I will try to show you the graph, but first, what we did is that we had a group of female women in the age of 40 plus, they were around 42, 60. We divided them into two groups, where one group took 2 tablespoons of balanced oil every day, and the other group did not take any omega-3 or any balanced oil. And then we measured their fatty acid profile by using the balance test, and also the skin elasticity by using a scientific device. What we saw in average is that in the start of the study, they all had an average of 15:1 in balance. And as the balance became better and better, you can see that the skin elasticity also increased. So after 200 days, for the group that took balanced oil every day, you can see that the elasticity of the skin had increased with more than 20% compared to the group that didn't take any oil. That's quite good. Especially for us female, we're very concerned with our skin. So skin elasticity means anti-aging of the skin, really. Paul Clayton wrote 2 sentences when we asked him to say something about balance and extender, and he said that we are less active. We eat worse food, we have malnutrition and inflammation. So the cure is balance and extend, of course, and that is it. It's quite simple. Yep, so you see, here's the cure. And there was a partner in Norway. What he did is that he went to the health shop and he bought all the ingredients that he can find on the ingredients list of Extender. And then he put them together. So you can see if you would buy all the ingredients in Extender by itself, it will look something like this. And this will be the monthly use for 2 people. And you know, it costs more than 450 euros per month. So you can see that it's better to take everything in one box as Extender. Here is a graph showing the amount of balanced products that have been sold since 2012 and up to today. And you can see that there is a massive growth. There's great sales. But imagine what we can do in the future, how this graph will look, and everything that you can do because you are the guys doing the job. So thank you for your attention and keep on doing a great job.